Hey you too, good to see you again. As you might have noticed in my last video, I have some great background music now. And that is because I made my own lo-fi hip-hop beats, background music for my videos. Originally, I use instrumental parts from music that I have generally made, which works okay, but sometimes there's just a tiny part that you can actually use because it doesn't have vocals. So I wanted to make something that is a bit more generally usable. Lo-fi beats are convenient for that because everyone likes them. Yay! So that's why I made some. I will also upload them as a separate video so that you can watch and enjoy. Let me tell you a little bit about how I make such stuff. Main building blocks of lo-fi tracks are drums. There I've been using some lo-fi samples as well as some pre-existing beats because I'm not that good of a drummer, and using pre-existing drums will immediately elevate your lo-fi tracks. And then I enrich those with some juicy chord progressions, always trying to incorporate a little bit of jazz but still keeping it sort of simple. Lots of layering between pads, ambient vocals. At some point I even use violin. Put some reverby ambience in the background, and then in the foreground go all in with a nice melody. I wouldn't be me if I didn't sprinkle in some genre bending elements like a little bit of electro, vocal harmonies, because I like doing vocal harmonies. For the ones of you who didn't know, I'm kind of a meme lord, meme lady. I don't know what the proper female gendered version of that is. Yeah, I love memes, so I'm making the video for the lo-fi beats appropriately meme worthy. If you want to watch the finished version of the lo-fi beats, click here, and it's also linked in the description. Otherwise, you will probably hear the music in upcoming videos. Right now, it's only 3 tracks of 2 minutes each, so it feels like a little overkill to upload them on my Bandcamp. But if I make more, then at some point it will probably be worth uploading them. For those of you who aren't following me on Instagram, I already posted some little sneak previews of my tracks on Instagram. There you can see me try out some chords, find some that work well. Obviously, I was just like jamming around trying to find chords that work without really knowing how to arrange my fingers, trying to play something and noticing, oh no, that's the wrong key. That's the way I work as music theory noob. And then after that, most of the creation of the tracks obviously just happens directly in the DAW, the digital audio workstation. Let me take you along for the ride in the DAW and show you how it's done. We're now in my DAW Reaper, and I've picked one of the tracks for you, Lo-Fi Beats to YouTube 2 track 3. We're gonna analyze that now a bit deeper to see what's going on there. As you can see, the last track that I was recording into was a guitar track. Let me unarm that. And then as an overview, we have some vocals here with a little bit of Autotune on them. Autotune. And then we have some piano, a bit of guitar with some effects here, as you can see. Then some pads, a background loop, a bit of violin and viola, a bit of bass, more bass. And this, I don't even know what this is, maybe a riser. And then we have a drum loop. There is a little bit of vinyl crackle going on at first. Of course, that's very important in lo-fi beats that you have some vinyl crackle. As you can see, some of the tracks have these little bars here and some have a more wavy kind of style. That means that the wavy ones are waveform tracks, so actually recorded audio, and the bars are MIDI tracks. And for the MIDI tracks, that's kind of cool. I can click those, and then I get what we call a piano roll, where basically you can press something, and the longer this little bar is here means the longer the key is supposed to be pressed. As you can hear here, we have a little pad going. And if I play this now and solo the track, you can hear the little sort of bell thing going on. It's a nice pad. And this is it in context. Yeah. Of course, for the MIDI parts, I mostly use my trusty MIDI keyboard that is right behind me there. You could, of course, like play all of this by clicking around in here and drawing some notes, but that would take forever and ain't nobody got time for that. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna make my life easy wherever I can. That's also why I use the drum effect here. And then, as you can see, making it very easy for myself here, just using a nice drum loop that I got from the internet and throwing it together with other stuff to get a really nice result from it. As you can see, it doesn't always need to be a big effort in order to sound good in the end. I think it's all in the details and stuff like this. This little riser here, as you heard, I added a little low-pass filter that is opening up to the little drum fill here to make a nice fill to go into my, well, drop. For this one, I actually used a background loop, this one here. I downloaded some loop stuff for free on the internet, Creative Commons or even public domain. So I could just play with the loops and do whatever without even needing to give copyright. I found that this loop was kind of nice. So I wanted to do something with it and expand a track around it. So I think with this track in the writing process, I originally started with the piano writing. As you can see, sort of ambient piano. And there it becomes a bit more mellow to go better with the backing track. So now you can hear how the piano interacts with the backing track. And then I added a bass. And there is a shift in the track, as you can hear. The backing loop stops and then the piano does something else. And there is where the vocal samples come in. Let me show those to you real quick. As you can hear, there are some heavy effects on those vocals. I have some auto-tune and pitch shifting going on. And is there anything else? Oh, the paranoia mangler. That's a Reaper effect in here that is sort of like a glitch effect. And yeah, just some crazy and fun stuff happens when you use the paranoia mangler. So I'm using the paranoia mangler a lot. I also added a guitar here for this more ambient part. Let's see how these three work together. Yeah, the guitar is just playing some little, I think, tapped arpeggio sort of. And then in the beginning here we have a little sort of production riser part where it just opens up before it goes into the next part to add some tension here. That's quite nice. And then when you hear it combined with violin and viola, there are some chords here. They also have a little fading in the beginning. A bit low volume, but I hope you can kind of hear it. Da, da, da. Yeah, just some. Violins are sort of like the instrumental version or like acoustic instrument version of a pad. So I am combining this pad with more pad to get bigger ambience. And then in this part, I added a more electro-y bass with some nice fuzzy gain on that, just to add a bit more punch to this part. And if we listen to everything together, it's just really groovy and nice. I really enjoy that. So it's not really a drop, but maybe if lo-fi beats can have a drop, then this is almost a drop, I think. And then of course it gets repeated. Oh, I could dance to this all day long. That's probably why I made these beats too, just to have some groovy music that I know I've made myself. And then after this drop, there was a little reprise of the background loop with which I started. It's coming. And as you can hear, the vocals are sort of a bit more playful here. Yeah, that was fun to write those vocals. Kind of like little detail, ear candy, so to say, to make the track a bit more exciting. But yeah, that was really fun to write that. Alright, I hope this music talk and production talk was not way too detailed for all of you, and you were like, oh, I don't understand anything she's saying. For everyone who enjoyed this track, if you are interested in hearing the entire thing and the other two nice lo-fi tracks that I made for my video background music, you can loop them and listen to them all day long if you like. Enjoy listening to the tracks in the upcoming videos, and see you next time.